Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday I'm fitting out some cases for my camera equipment. See you in a minute. Now at the moment I've got a couple of cardboard boxes full of bits of GoPro camera, bits of cheap knockoff Chinese copy GoPros, little Panasonic handheld I use sometimes, and they're just lying around in the shed. It's the usual story, cardboard boxes on worktops, blocking up any chance of getting any work done. So as part of the ongoing drive that last year and this year's New Year's resolution brought on, it's to try and tidy things up a bit, and small storage for things like that is the one thing that's never been tackled, and as a result of that everything's just ended up in loose boxes. So I'm going to get some flight cases and put the cameras inside those in some sort of logical order. First of all, I think there's a little bit of an unboxing first, another little toy we've got, and then we'll get into the meat of the main subject. I'm just going to start with a quick unboxing, which I'm going to blame on those nice people at on the Woodworking UK site, who brought to my attention the fact that Homebase were selling the Ryobi 18 volt battery operated trim router for £46, which is almost as cheap as a Katsu, and seeing as I've got Ryobi tools pretty much everywhere else in the shed, I thought for work out in the field where there's no power, that's going to be a good buy for that. So bit of an impulse purchase, a little bit extravagant, but what the hell, you can't take it with you. Looks to be a very nice, but there's a difference you can immediately feel between this and the Katsu. However much I love the Katsu, this is precision engineering and nice metals rather than rough castings. They supply it with a small router bit. They supply it with a collet, which is presumably 1/4 inch to 6mm, I don't know. Have a look at that when I get the instructions out. There's some little screws there which I think are for the fence. It hasn't got a plunge base on it, but that's not really what I was looking to use it with, but it has got a very nice mechanism that's the thumb wheel adjust, and again the difference is just streets ahead. I know it's what you pay for, but for £46, admittedly there's no battery with it, but having the Ryobi stuff, I've got the batteries anyway. You just put one on it and see what it goes like. And again the difference is immediate. It feels and sounds much smoother, sweeter. Lithium ion battery on. I think it's a brushless motor, I don't know. It's got a little LED on it to light things up, so I don't have to mess around with that. Very nice. It will, time alone will tell how good or bad it is, but on the whole it looks pretty interesting. We'll see how we go on in time, and I'll come back to you when I've used it a bit and give some thoughts. Whether it won't be a review as such, I'm not a great fan of reviewing tools for reasons that I will explain in the future, but I can at least give you my impressions of it. Now, goodies over and done with, let's get into the main problem. This is the snag at the moment. I've got a whole load of cameras in boxes, little Panasonic I use sometimes. There's the GoPros, the boxes, the watertight cases and other cases. There's some cheap Chinese copy GoPros that I don't use at the moment, but I have got something in mind for them, so I want to keep them. Batteries all loose, I can never find anything when I want it, and at the moment this isn't really the right way to be storing things. So I think I've just had delivered the answer to the problems. Let's just have a quick look inside and see if it's what I hope it is. Yep. Now I didn't want to put all these in one case because you don't always need to be carrying around 3 or 4 GoPros, but having them all in a case means that they will stack nicely, so I can get some storage solution for them. These little cases are relatively cheap, they were about £8 or £9 each, but you can get similar sorts of things. I've used them a lot for model railway stuff I do, and they just come usually with a foam insert that you can cut a couple of bits of foam in there, cut that out, and then starting point is really basically to take out what you want in terms of cameras or fittings, and then you can just lay them out in the foam and then cut it out to suit what it is that you want to put in there. I'm going to do one for me GoPro 2, one for the 3, one with a pair of the cheap Chinese knockoffs, one with the Panasonic, and then I want to do a charging station for when I'm out and about. I've got the charging station for in here. I want to do what is essentially like an off-grid charging setup that will run on USBs, because you haven't always got mains or anything else like that, so I'm going to do some sort of a charging station. But we'll start off by doing one of these with the GoPro, set it all out, mark it out, cut the bits out, and then we can do the rest separately. You only need to see it once, and I'll show you when I've finished the whole lot then how it all goes together, and then we'll find somewhere to stack them. But at the moment it does mean that you can just put these things neatly in some sort of storage, and it tidies it up much better than the boxes that get full of dirt and dust and all sorts of rubbish. Now it doesn't have to be cameras, it can be any sort of technical equipment you've got. If you want it kept in some sort of shockproof case that keeps it clean and dust free, similar principle. These cases are available in all sorts of different sizes. You get them as makeup boxes, tool boxes, all sorts of things. I've used them for years with model railway locomotives in them as well. First thing to do is to decide what you want in the box and roughly lay it out. I've got the Hero 3 there. Clearly I want the camera, I want some batteries, want the SD card or the micro SD card. There's a difference on this one in that the microphones don't just plug in normally, they plug into a USB first, so there's a little adapter that I need to take with me on that one. Microphone, little USB charger, there's a lavalier lapel mic and a holder for it for when it's on the stand where I don't need it to be waterproof or anything, and the mic will go in that hole. Having done that, what I do then is to just draw around roughly with a white Chinograph type pencil, mark the things out roughly where I want them, and then having done that done them all like that, we'll then start and cut the stuff out, the bottom layer of foam out. Now if you're going right through to the bottom, if you cut the foam out, clearly you're going to be left with clear MDF inside. I don't really want that, so what I shall do there is then just put a bit of black foam rubber that I've also got with sticky back on it underneath, so that you've got a black, totally black inside. Same with the batteries. Even if you just cut that out, they're quite heavy and are likely to float around a bit. I want them held reasonably rigidly, so I'll need to sort out some sort of solution to keep them trapped in that corner. I'll either make something or adapt something to fit. Now you can cut the foam with either a very, very sharp knife or a scalpel, or I have in fact in the past used bread knives. They're very good because they've got a very fine serrated edge on them, but at the moment I'm just using the sharp knife. As I mentioned, I had done this a couple of days earlier with one of the other boxes, and the sharp scalpel is something you have to watch because it can give you some grief. I've found a solution for the batteries. I've got that one of the little watch boxes I got from the recycling centre. It's like a plastic sort of material, lined. I've just cut a piece off the end of that. Just going to I've cut the foam round it. I shall glue that in with either hot glue or Sino, and then the batteries will sit in there, and I'll either find enough batteries to fill it or put a small piece of foam just to keep them packed, but then that way they'll all be kept upright and tidy. And it's now just a matter of going around all the other areas that have been marked, or that are marked out, or marking them out, and once that's done, cutting out the foam with the sharp knife and dropping them in. And as I say, anything that you see right through, I'll just cut a piece of black thin foam to go on the underneath. And that's the finished job. That's the two heroes sorted. I've got to do the same for the little Panasonic camera and the other cheap nasties and things like that, but the principle is there to follow. The Hero 3 has got the charger and batteries in it. The Hero 2 is a recharge on a normal USB cable if I wanted to, if I was out and about and stuck. So I'll stick a cable in there loose. I've got a harness there that will fit in as well. And in the Hero 3 I've got the instruction book and a set of wipes to clean the lenses if I need them. But that's it. That tidies them up, keeps them dust free, ready to go out and use in the field and indeed in the shed, but at least I'll know where to find them and know that they'll be clean and tidy when I come to use them. So there we have it. Quick tidy up for any electrical equipment or camera equipment that you've got that needs housing in something dust proof and keeping it clean and knock proof if it's being transported round. Hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you next week. We'll have something different for you then. See you. Bye.